July 8th, 2025. Will you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joette, may we have the roll call?
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Graff?
Here.
Mayor Grubbs? Ms. Knock?
Here.
Mr. McMurdo?
Here. I'll make a motion to excuse Mayor Grubbs and Mr. Wilson.
Second.
Ms. Knock?
Yay.
Mr. McMurdo?
Yeah.
Mr. Graff?
Yay.
The next on the agenda is to approve the minutes for June 10th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve.
Joette, since I know I'm not supposed to second,
I'll second.
you can, okay.
He's gonna second, yeah. Mr. McMurdo?
Yeah.
Mr. Graff?
Yay.
Ms. Knock?
Yay. All right, we have a few visitors this evening, which I think will be covered in our new business and old business. So we'll move straight into new business. We need to set a public hearing for a similar use approval for August 12th, 2025 for 136 Pilot Road. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to set the public hearing for the 12th.
I'll second.
Why don't we do that at 7? You think a half hour is appropriate
that's
for that?
Okay.
At 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m.?
Ms. Knock?
Yay.
Mr. McMurdo?
Yeah.
Mr. Graff?
Yay.
All right, the public hearing for 136 Pilot Road is set for 7 p.m. on August 12th, 2025, here in Chambers. Our next order of business is for the PUD conceptual plan presentation for 10400 Harrison Avenue.
You can.
You
Our
please
guests
come
are
up.
here. John Silverman. There's no staff report. You're just gonna present. And then when we get into the next phase is when we'll have a full staff report with full review.
Great.
Okay.
Expanded there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. My name is John Silverman, Midland Atlantic Development Company. For your record, our address is 8044 Montgomery Road, Suite 370, Cincinnati, Ohio 45236. As I said, we appreciate your time. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but want to introduce you to the company, let you know what you can expect from us. We're new to your market, and then kind of talk a little bit about our anticipated project if we're fortunate enough to receive approval from this group and from City Council. Kind of walk you through what the vision is and what you would see as time progresses along Harrison Avenue. So if I can do this in my very high-tech fashion. Okay, this is what we call Project D. Not sure why we call it D, but we do. Our company is based here in Cincinnati. We have an office in Indianapolis as well. We own 42 shopping centers across the country, from South Dakota to North Carolina, and from Minnesota to Mississippi. Most of our projects are anchored by a large grocery store or a large department store that we do a lot of activity with. We are not speculators. We don't put property under contract and then run around and try to find users for the property. Not that that's a bad business model, it's just not our model. Our model is heavily reliant on developing properties where we are asked to go by specific users, and that is our situation here in Harrison. We were asked by a very specific user who we do a lot of activity with throughout the country, who has recognized the value of the Harrison market, the growth you've had, prominence that you've had here in the community, and the job that your community has done growing and exposing itself to what the potential is for the population out here. So we were asked specifically to come here, and that's why we're here. So the plan that you see before you is not speculation of what we can, produce down the road. It's well thought out, it's well planned, and it's, as I said, at the direction of the largest user that we show on our property. We've won a lot of awards throughout our 43-year history, including a project we did in North Carolina that was voted the development of the decade. So we're very proud of that. Some of our notable experience, we just finished a 100-acre project in Pinehurst, North Carolina. If you're a golfer, a horse person, or you're into croquet and all the things they do in Pinehurst, you know what the development concept is down there, and it's a very nice project that has Target, BJ's Wholesale Club, and a host of other folks. We've got a project right across the street from Kenwood Mall. Actually, we've done 2 projects across from Kenwood Mall. We did Trader Joe's, and we did a little fancy center with retail and office above. We normally wouldn't do it, but it's in our backyard, and we're comfortable with it. You may know Voice America Center in Westchester, Ohio. It's a 75-acre project that we have with Target and with Fresh Market. We own our centers long-term. We manage them ourselves. We operate them ourselves. We have a full staff. We're an overhead machine. But our centers, if you drive around the back of Voice America, you're going to see how clean it is. You're going to see how well kept it is. All of our projects have a 5-year capital plan. Whether they're brand new or whether they're 30 years old, they have a 5-year capital plan. So every 5 years, something new happens at that project so that they're refreshed, they always look good, they always look modern, and they continue for generations to be productive projects. We do a lot of Kroger's. We've done 22 of them. Publix has recently received a lot of attention in Northern Kentucky. We're doing that work down there as well. As I said, 17 states, covering pretty much the right-hand side of the country. We do a lot with Target. This is a project we completed recently. I think the illustration from the next few slides is a discussion of quality. So our projects have quality building material, quality landscaping. Those pictures are not photoshopped, by the way. Those are real pictures of real landscaping. If you look at the sidewalk there, you're going to see brick pavers in that sidewalk. You're going to see stone on the buildings. They're taller buildings, so they have a nice profile. And that's what we would expect to see here in Harrison in our project. Again, I like that project because it's that picture, pardon me, because it shows what the sidewalk looks like. And it's not just, we don't do 6-foot wide sidewalks of concrete. We do wide sidewalks with pavers, with lights, with benches. The trash can match the trade dress of the rest of the project. That's the quality that we bring to the projects. Same thing, architectural quality. We like fences. We like landscaping. We like features as you see as you drive down the street. This project, we happen to have built a mile-long roadway to serve, but the same kind of features you see here in your mind's eye, we translate to what you see on Harrison. We're big on people space. When I show you our plan, you're going to see that we've got a big pedestrian area planned on one end of the center, and this is the kind of treatment that we do in those pedestrian spaces. Like fountains, a lot of water features in our project. Voice America, I think Voice America has 4 fountains in that project. There's one of them right there. Speaking of fountains. Same thing, quality architecture. This is one of our projects across from Kenwood Mall. Again, landscaping, potted plants, flowers, annual flowers. We will be the nicest project in Harrison. That's not to denigrate any other projects in Harrison. It's just the quality that we bring. We will be the nicest shopping center in Harrison. We typically are in all the markets we go into. When we developed in Westchester, we had built the Kroger across the street from our Voice America Center. At the time, that was the nicest center in town. Until we built Voice America, we went a little nicer. This is a Kroger Harris Teeter project in Cary, North Carolina, I believe. Okay, so that brings us to Harrison, Ohio. If we are, as I said, if we're fortunate enough to move forward with the project through your committee and your city council, then this is the engineered plan. Kroger's at the bottom of the page. There's an existing traffic light that serves Kroger and serves the site on the right-hand side. We are proposing adding an additional traffic light that's kind of central to the site. And you got the intersection of West Road. Just as kind of a side note, I'll switch hats very quickly. West Road is very important to me. I happen to be the board chair of Cincinnati State. And we have an aviation center out here in Harrison. We're about to double the size of it. We're very excited about it. So long before this property, I was coming out here to West Road to go to our aviation program out there. And it's a great program. We've got 180 students, and we're going to double the size of it. So I have Harrison in my blood in several different ways. This is a little nicer rendition of the plan. You've got the department store on the left-hand side, 128,000 square feet. This is our anticipated lineup. Not sure if there's a pointer on here, but at the existing Light by Taco Bell, to the right-hand side, we've sized that property for a sit-down restaurant. Going across the front of the out parcels, we anticipate 2 different banks on each corner, and then a coffee shop in the middle. And there are active discussions going on for all those spaces. The pedestrian area, this doesn't show it well. Let's see if the site plan, neither of these show it well, but the restaurant space on the right-hand side is where you would see that pedestrian area that would tie into that restaurant. So you have outdoor seating, a nice feature, and a nice situation when it's a day like we have today. That's what our anticipation is. That's our vision for the project. A couple of preliminary elevations. These are very, very preliminary. As we move through your process, we will refine these plans significantly. So these are really preliminary. We didn't plan the red car to match the red building. It just happened that way in the drawing. But even in these pictures that are early, you see the quality of the landscaping. You see the sidewalk broken up with landscaping. And that's very important to us. This is the inline space. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to this plan, but it's a good start for us. So as I said, as we move through the process, we'll start to refine these renderings as we start to hone in on the detail for each building and each segment of the project. From a timeline standpoint, we anticipate hopefully moving successfully through your city approval process by the end of October, starting construction at the beginning of January of 26, with a grand opening in October of 2027. I'll tell you that is a really, really fast schedule. I had a conversation with one of our contractors who's from Birmingham, Alabama, but we've done a lot of work with. And I told him what the schedule was, and he said, "You mean October of 28, right?" I said, "No, October of 27. So that is when the store is slotted with our primary user. But we're very excited to be in Harrison, very excited to be part of your community. As I said, we operate our centers long-term. We are not merchant builders. We don't build and sell. So for better or worse, if we get your approval and city council's approval, you'll be stuck with us for a long time. But we love the community. We're from here in Cincinnati, as I said. We're excited about it, happy to answer any questions you may have, and look forward to going through your process.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thoughts, questions?
I do have questions. Will there be sidewalks out in the front of the
We've not gotten to that point yet. We do
Okay.
put sidewalks on the street a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a sidewalk on the street now on Harrison Avenue, if
No.
I remember correctly.
Well, there is, we have a pedestrian walkway down West Road to the high school, and there's a pedestrian overpass as well. It's just weird. I want to plan forward for, we want to make it more accessible for people to walk around. So.
We put sidewalks in most of our projects. We'd be happy to do that if you would like us
Okay.
to add that. And love for it to be something that continues on and sidewalks grow throughout. And we're big on pedestrian access, as you saw from our pictures. So I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Also, I apologize. I meant to introduce Brian O'Toole, one of our development managers, who was spending a lot of time on this project and has had the opportunity to meet with Joette multiple times, as have I. So Brian will work on this along with Bill Meese, who's our director of development. He's on his way back from France right now, so you're stuck with me. Any other thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are you able to disclose your anchor at this
not.
point or not? Okay.
I am not, I apologize.
No, that's fine. Do you have that anchor under contract?
We have an agreement signed with the anchor, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
But we, as I said, we're here because of them.
Right. I assume a confidentiality clause, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Got it. Understood.
Brian,
Thank you.
any questions?
I can't think of any. I know we'll have more as time goes on, but, you know, I think one thing that the traffic is always a concern for me, and, I mean, you mentioned that another traffic light, but, you know, I anticipate as we continue to move on, there'll be more information on.
Yes, sir. We've engaged a traffic engineer we're meeting with Thursday morning, Thursday. He's already started working on it, so it's a tight timeline for him too. But it's part of the process with the city too.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
So just to explain a little bit about the process, now that you have your questions answered and they've presented, they will go to city council in, not the next meeting, but the following meeting, and do the same process, answer questions, and then, you know, if there aren't any objections going forward, they will move into the full design phase and come back to us with the preliminary plan.
All right, that concludes our new business. So we move to the old business, which, you know, was the similar use approval that we tabled for 136 Pilot Road. Since we have set a public hearing for it on August 12th, 2025, I think that concludes all of our old business, correct?
We'll just leave it tabled, and then you'll take it off the table at the next meeting after the public hearing.
All right.
Okay.
And that concludes everything that we have this evening. May I have a motion for adjournment?
So made.
I'll second.
Ms. Knock,
Yay.
Mr. McMurdo,
Yay.
Mr. Graff,
Yay.
meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Looking forward to it.